Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you from the Sonoma Grape Expo. It's been a great day here. I'm with Ryan McCreary, one of our speakers featured today from the USDA-APHIS, to talk about wildlife pest threats. I know we often talk about rodent control and pests and diseases, but the small pests, but there are some larger wildlife pests that can cause a lot of damage in a small amount of time in a vineyard, right? So we're dealing with the small rodents to some large rodents like nutria in the northern San Joaquin Valley. We've got coyotes all over the state chewing up those drip lines. Even wolves are becoming a problem in Northern California. But we wanted to talk about feral pigs today, particularly. What can you tell us about, how to identify this kind of damage in the vineyard, for example, and what growers can legally do about it?
Well, it's pretty obvious if you have a problem with feral pigs. They show a lot of sign. The most obvious thing is all the rooting, their tracks. Sometimes you even see them out in the evenings and mornings. They're usually most active at night. Legally in California, they are a game animal. So one option is a person can get a hunting license. You can get a pig tag year-round in California. But usually if you have a pretty bad problem, you need to get what's called a depredation permit from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. You would get that by contacting the biologist for California Department of Fish and Wildlife in your area. You would need to probably take pictures of the damage, estimate a monetary value of your damage and give that to them, and then they issue a depredation permit.
So what other kind of damage can they do that you really wouldn't want in a vineyard, for example? Why?
Well, obviously a lot of erosion, just tearing up the ground, pulling up all the drip lines, just eating the grapes or the nuts or whatever fruit you have from the vines and from the trees. They can also interfere with some livestock production. Feral pigs are basically like a petri dish. There's all sorts of different diseases they can carry and they can transmit to livestock. That's one big risk factor that we keep a track of. We do a lot of disease monitoring with all the feral pig work we do and getting them tested in certain counties, certain specific areas also.
Great. Now, if they do have a problem with wildlife, like pigs on the farm, can they contact you guys for assistance with this, or how does that work? Or maybe a trapper or something? I don't know.
Yeah, probably the best thing to do. We have different wildlife specialists all over California. They're usually assigned to specific counties. So you can call your county ag commissioner's office and tell them you have a problem with wildlife damaging your crops or your private property, and then they will direct you to the wildlife specialist that covers that area. It's probably the quickest way to do it.
Great. Well, thank you, Ryan. Read more about these things and other presentations from the Sonoma Grape Expo in the upcoming issue of American Vineyard Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.